Hello and welcome to Artistic Autistic ASMR. I'm Emily. Before I jump into the tapping, I am going to give a little bit of background on what I'm going to do and also give a bit of a disclaimer. So if this is a repeat viewing of this video, or if you just want to skip right ahead to the tapping activity, please feel free to look below to the progress bar and go to the tapping timestamp. What we are going to be doing tonight is a tapping sequence. Tapping is based on the emotional freedom technique, which was developed by Gary Craig. So if you are interested in more on EFT, please feel free to look that up. I am not trained in this. I am not an expert. This was something that my therapist, my last therapist that I was with for 4 years, helped me with and encouraged me to use and taught me the tapping sequence. And I have based what I'm about to do on that. So it's the same tapping sequence that she taught me. However, I am adding my own words to this. So this is my own writing. The statements that we're going to speak as we go through the sequence were written by me. I did this recently, knowing that it was something that I needed for myself. After the tapping sequence, I am going to talk a little bit about my background and why I am doing this and why I am interested in these particular topics. One night I was feeling like I needed some calming and some encouragement around my own issues, and I sat down to write one sequence and I ended up writing 6. So I also have a lot more sequences as far as the writing goes that I want to do for not only body image, eating disorder recovery, that sort of thing, but some other mental health challenges that I have been through myself. And I will be writing and recording more of these tapping sequences. Hopefully you enjoy them. But definitely look for 5 more related to body image, food issues, that kind of thing, because those were the ones that I wrote most recently. So here is your disclaimer. This sequence, in terms of the words that we're going to speak, they may not be for everyone. It really depends on where you are in your journey with your body. What we're going to do tonight is a body image sequence, and the statements are geared towards body neutrality, a bit of body positivity, and some of us just aren't there yet. And some of these statements may even be somewhat triggering or off-putting if you're not there yet. And I certainly wouldn't want to set anyone off course. So if you are at a very, very vulnerable place, if you know that you have issues with these kinds of things, if you are, for example, in residential care right now and feeling very, very vulnerable, and like there may be some things that you could hear that could set you off course and even kind of shy away from recovery, please don't watch. And you can certainly speak with your therapist about this. If you have a therapist, like I said, if you're in treatment right now, certainly reach out to your therapist, talk to them, even share the link and see if this is something that might benefit you. Because my goal is really to help people. And like I said, this just might not be quite, it's at a level where some folks might not be quite ready for this yet. So please take care of yourself. Make sure that if you think that this may trigger you into any kind of regression, that you take extreme care, and if you're fortunate enough to have a professional support team, that you check in with them first, okay? Thank you. So the first thing that I want to do is just show you what the movements are. That way when we go through it, you'll have a bit of an idea of what to do with your hands. And I'm going to repeat each movement and each statement multiple times so that you can listen to the statement the first time if you like, and then speak along with me or repeat at your pace as we go along. But it would be ideal if you are able to speak the words yourself. However, if you just need to listen and go through the motions, or just listen and not do the tapping, that's totally fine too. At your pace, in your way, we all recover differently. So the first movement we do is a karate chop. As far as I know, it doesn't matter which hand you use for which. I am going to use my right hand to do the chopping on my left hand. So you really just do a gentle tap on the pinky side of your hand, nice and gentle on this part of your hand. Remember to take deep, soothing breaths throughout this process. While we're tapping on this point, you can either speak out loud or just think about the issue that you may have with body image, what you would like to work on. Reassure yourself that while you may have this challenge, that you still love and accept yourself. Then we'll be moving on to tapping. I use 2 fingers on each hand. That's how I like to do it. Tapping just above the eyebrow. Then we'll move to the side of the eye, to just under the eye. Kind of try and do it in sync with each other. I know that I kind of get out of sync sometimes, so please pardon that. And we go from under the eyes to under the nose, to under the chin, to the collarbone. I use my right hand, lift my left, and then you pat your side. And finally move up to the top of the head. When I go through this with the statements, like I said, I will go through them several times, and I believe I will likely run through the entire sequence 3 times. Even just doing the tapping without any words can be very soothing. So feel free to use that. It's something that I have done for panic attacks for myself. I actually did create a video for panic attacks. It was a role play, and I included some tapping in that video. That was about 1.5 years ago already, but I'll link it so you can check that out if you like as well. So I don't have my statements memorized, so if you see me looking down, I will be looking at this book. Isn't it beautiful? This is where I have written a great deal of my ASMR scripts and ideas. I've done some journaling in here. I really love dragons. For me, they really represent strength of self and the ability to set boundaries. So I think that they are, this is a really good journal for writing down body image statements. So let's just start again with the karate chop. Just take some deep centering breaths. Remind yourself that while you may have these challenges, these struggles with body image, that you can still love and accept yourself. Please keep in mind that even if these statements don't feel true right now, it may benefit you to hear them or speak them. It is part of the process of changing our minds, taking advantage of our neuroplasticity, the ability to literally rewire our brains. As we, over time, when we have the same thought over and over again, it creates a neural pathway, and it will take effort, conscious effort, to redirect that neural connection, changing our minds. Okay, so we're going to start above the eyebrow, and our statement here is, my physical appearance does not determine my worth. My physical appearance does not determine my worth. My physical appearance does not determine my worth. To the side of the eyes, I no longer believe the lies I've been told about what makes a person beautiful. I no longer believe the lies I've been told about what makes a person beautiful. I no longer believe the lies I've been told about what makes a person beautiful. Moving to under the eyes. I am free from any and all pressure to look a certain way. I am free from any and all pressure to look a certain way. I am free from any and all pressure to look a certain way. Moving to under the nose. I release fear of my body and the bodies of others. I release fear of my body and the bodies of others. I release fear of my body and the bodies of others. Next, 2 on the chin. I release disgust for my body, lifestyle, and habits. I release disgust for my body, my lifestyle, and my habits. I release disgust for my body, my lifestyle, and my habits. Next we go to the collarbone. I accept my body as it is right now. I accept my body as it is right now. I accept my body as it is right now. Then we move to under the arm. I accept that my body is changing and will continue to change. I accept that my body is changing and will continue to change. I accept that my body is changing and will continue to change. To the top of the head, I understand that learning to love myself is a process that requires patience. I understand that learning to love myself is a process that requires patience. I understand that learning to love myself is a process that requires patience. In between rounds, we're going to place our hands over our heart, over our chest. Take some more deep breaths. Say, my body is my home and I honor it. My body is my home and I honor it. My body is my home and I honor it. Taking it to round 2 now, we're going to skip the chop and go straight to over the eyebrows and repeat the sequence with the same statements. We're going to do this 2 more times. Over the eyebrows. My physical appearance does not determine my worth. My physical appearance does not determine my worth. My physical appearance does not determine my worth. Side of the eye. I no longer believe the lies I've been told about what makes a person beautiful. I no longer believe the lies I've been told about what makes a person beautiful. I no longer believe the lies I've been told about what makes a person beautiful. Under the eyes. I am free from any and all pressure to look a certain way. I am free from any and all pressure to look a certain way. I am free from any and all pressure to look a certain way. Under the nose. I release fear of my body and the bodies of others. I release fear of my body and the bodies of others. I release fear of my body and the bodies of others. Under the chin. I release disgust for my body, lifestyle, and habits. I release disgust for my body, lifestyle, and habits. I release disgust for my body, lifestyle, and habits. To the collarbone. I accept my body as it is right now. I accept my body as it is right now. I accept my body as it is right now. under the arm. I accept that my body is changing and will continue to change. I accept that my body is changing and will continue to change. I accept that my body is changing and will continue to change. Top of the head. I understand that learning to love myself is a process that requires patience. I understand that learning to love myself is a process that requires patience. I understand that learning to love myself is a process that requires patience. Close out that round again, placing our hands over our heart. Taking some deep breaths. My body is my home, and I honor it. My body is my home, and I honor it. My body is my home, and I honor it. Last round. I'm going to go through this one without calling out the locations, okay? My physical appearance does not determine my worth. My physical appearance does not determine my worth. My physical appearance does not determine my worth. I no longer believe the lies I've been told about what makes a person beautiful. I no longer believe the lies I've been told about what makes a person beautiful. I no longer believe the lies I've been told about what makes a person beautiful. I am free from any and all pressure to look a certain way. I am free of any and all pressure to look a certain way. I am free of any and all pressure to look a certain way. I release fear of my body and the bodies of others. I release fear of my body and the bodies of others. I release fear of my body and the bodies of others. I release disgust for my body, lifestyle, and habits. I release disgust for my body, lifestyle, and habits. I release disgust for my body, lifestyle, and habits. I accept my body as it is right now. I accept my body as it is right now. I accept my body as it is right now. I accept that my body is changing and will continue to change. I accept that my body is changing and will continue to change. I I accept that my body is changing and will continue to change. I accept that my body is changing and will continue to change. I understand that learning to love myself is a process that requires patience. I understand that learning to love myself is a process that requires patience. I understand that learning to love myself is a process that requires patience. My body is my home, and I honor it. My body is my home, and I honor it. My body is my home, and I honor it. If you've stuck with me for all of that, great job. I really appreciate you being here with me. I do want to take just a little bit of time to give you a little bit of background about myself and why it is that this particular subject is so important to me and why it is something that I personally need for myself. I went to residential treatment for a restrictive eating disorder. Trigger warning, I was diagnosed with anorexia in 2017. I went through residential care. I went through partial hospitalization and intensive outpatient care. So I did go through all 3 levels of care as treatment for my anorexia. And I feel incredibly, incredibly grateful for that time, although it was very difficult. It was so worth it. It was so life-changing, so transformative and helpful. And I recognize that not everyone has the ability, for one reason or another, to get treatment or get the kind of high-quality, really cutting-edge kind of treatment that I received. So I just feel so grateful, and anytime I talk about it, I want to say thank you to the staff at Montecatini where I received my care, because, as I said, I needed it so badly, and it changed my life. So as of May, I've been 5 years in recovery, and it is a process. It's not something that ends when you get out of treatment. I have continued to see therapists. I have been without a therapist for a while now, since our move, and that's part of why I'm choosing to center this content on my channel. Whether or not that will continue to be the case, mental health is really a subject very close to my heart, very important to me, something that I really want to help others with. So it's for myself and for anyone who feels that they could benefit from this type of content. Hopefully in ASMR content, I do get very passionate about it. I get emotional about it. I'm trying to maintain my soft speak. Forgive me if I raise my volume a little bit. As I said, it's very, very important to me. So, yeah, as I said, I'm 5 years into recovery. It is a long process. Some people are of the opinion that you are always in recovery, that there is no recovered. That's really a personal choice, how you see it. For me, I feel like because life is always there, and the purpose of treatment isn't to make life easier, because you can't really do that necessarily. The point is to get stronger. So life has stayed the same, but I have changed. I have grown stronger, and so my life has changed. Even if the world hasn't changed, even if social media has not changed, and it hasn't, and even if it continues to be even less encouraging and accepting than it already is, in recovery, I grow stronger, you grow stronger, and we're able to combat the negative messaging that comes at us all the time, whether it's body shaming or food shaming or movement exercise related kind of things. We can become more confident in ourselves and able to set boundaries. So I do have other protocols, as I said, that I've written that I'm very excited to share with you. I have a second body image protocol. I'm going to be doing an emotional eating protocol, a food freedom, one related to movement. So I hope that you will subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can go on this journey with me, because that's really what it is. It's a process, it's a journey. Sometimes it feels easier, but really what happens is you get stronger, and that's really something to be proud of. So whether you're very new to recovery or reclaiming your sense of self and improving your body image, or if you've been at it for a while, I think it's amazing, and I want to say that I'm proud of you for making that courageous effort in a society where these negative views of self and negative views of the human body in general is the norm. I hope that what we did together tonight gives you even just a sliver of peace, even just a sliver of hope, hopefully more than that. But really anything that I can do to help, I'm very, very grateful for. So thank you for sticking with this, sticking with me this long, and I will see you next time. Bless you.